Isn't it ironic that the thing that's defeating the Batman is a man who ate a bat? Some weirdos out there, dude. The Batman, along with several other movies, are all facing the same dilemma, and that's that Hollywood has completely shut down, halting all and any films currently in production. That is going to cause a domino effect that's really going to affect Robert Pattinson's The Batman and several other movies. What I'm going to be doing here for you guys is breaking down the latest update concerning The Batman and how this whole pandemic has lasted a lot longer than a lot of us had hoped, causing a lot of changes to our society, but specifically focusing on the Batman. But I know now, because we've all been stuck at home for so long, I'm not gonna only stick to the negatives. There are some silver linings to this, so we gonna find the positives, no matter how small they may be. So I need you guys to comment down below on everything we discuss here today concerning the Batman and the effects this will have on Hollywood in the future. And make sure to leave a like down below if you think more positives than negatives are gonna come out from this whole situation. So jumping right into it, unless you have just woken up from a coma, you know everything going on in our society and why everything has just been halted. And because on this channel we specifically stick to movie related news, the movie industry has been hit big time by this thing, with theaters being shut down. Almost every movie that was currently in the works, at least in the United States, has stopped production. But speaking on the Batman, when all of this was starting off, Warner Brothers was very confident that even though this pandemic was beginning, they were determined not to shut down their productions, to move forward, finish the movies so that they could all meet their release schedules. Things only continued to get worse, causing them to further delay their movies. Instead of just the 2 weeks they were hoping to be shut down for, Matt Reeves confirmed that it's unknown when they would start back up, but they are hoping for a mid-May date to continue filming. Variety recently put out a report concerning these movies in limbo and the big effects that they could have that a lot of us aren't aware about. Now, I get a lot of people in the comment section going, Chris, this movie comes out in 2021. That's plenty of time for them to finish their movie, especially since they already did 7 weeks of shooting and there can't be much more left of that film. Well, there's a couple of things that still definitely halt this film. The first one being was something I warned us about in a previous video I made when Warner Bros. Announced that they would not be stopping production before things got worse. That even if Matt Reeves' The Batman runs all smoothly throughout production, they finish their film, they get the production down, they're ready for their marketing, and it's all set to be released on June 25th like they were hoping for of 2021. The domino effect of all these movies that have been delayed and canceled from their release dates eventually have to come out in theaters, and we're gonna see a massive effect of big budget movies just opening up weekend after weekend, that even movies that weren't directly affected by the outbreak would still have to delay their release dates. Take in fact Wonder Woman 1984 that was set to be released on June 5th of this year. Because things don't seem to get better and Warner Bros. Is determined to make this a movie theater release, they pushed the film to August 14th of 2020, adding a domino effect where James Wan's Malignant, which is a horror movie that was set to come out this year that I was super excited about, was going to release on August 14th, but now that a big budget movie like Wonder Woman 1984 is going to release there, they've taken the movie off the slate, and now we are unknown to when that will be released. So with that in mind, movies like A Quiet Place, Mulan, Black Widow, the animated Scoob movie, the James Bond movie No Time to Die, Fast and Furious 9, Minions: The Rise of Gru, just several big budget movies that are now going to start dipping their toes into 2021, having the Batman shaking his boots and think to himself, I don't have the box office room for my movie to make $1 billion like the Joker, and I'm gonna have to delay myself to get away from all the competition. But the more recent effect that it could have on the movie The Batman that this Variety article points out that I didn't even think about is because The Batman could be delaying its filming schedule for several months, you run the risk that certain actors are no longer able to continue being part of the movie because they have contracted obligations to other movies or TV shows, most likely forcing them to drop out of the Batman. And before all you people who hate Robert Pattinson as Batman start cheering and hoping he could be one of the people to drop out of this movie, ain't gonna happen. The article makes it clear that the big A-listers in the films, like a Robert Pattinson or a Zoe Kravitz, even other big stars who've been affected like this with The Rock, who was filming his movie Red Notice for Netflix, you know how busy of a schedule The Rock has, so if anything is delayed, it really messes up everything he had planned for the year. Those stars have such power in Hollywood that they can tell studios and other movies that, look, I want to finish this project, then I promise I'll go to doing your movie, your TV show. However, the supporting roles in this movie that were just as important, like Colin Farrell as the Penguin, Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon, John Turturro as Carmen Falcone, and maybe any other of the secret supporting characters in the Batman movie that were going to have large roles, whether they were going to be a secret villain, maybe a Two-Face, or a setup for a sequel to continue on the Batman story, will now have to be replaced by a new cast, or the movie will have to change its story to accommodate the changes. All of us who've been following the Batman know for the longest time that the main villain will be the Riddler. That's what all the reports are leading to, that Paul Dano's the Riddler is the main villain the Batman is going after. So other big villains like Colin Farrell's the Penguin in here were probably just going to have small roles that were going to be teased for maybe a future Batman sequel or something bigger down the line. If Colin Farrell on his schedule was set to be in a different movie in May, not knowing that this whole pandemic would happen, he would have to drop out of the movie and do what he's schedulally obligated to do, and some of these cast members that we were really pleased with could change. But even with that, there are some silver linings to this happening. For one, the butler in this movie that was going to be played by Andy Serkis, our Alfred for this Batman movie. Matt Reeves, if you didn't know, he directed movies like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and he has a very close relationship to Andy Serkis, who did the motion capture for Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies. Because of this close relationship, he offered him a role in the Batman. He was this close to being our Penguin, but instead he went with the role of Alfred, because apparently Alfred in this movie does not have a big role where he's in a lot of scenes, and since he was already scheduled to be directing Venom 2, he only had so much free time in his schedule to be in the Batman. With this pandemic happening and delaying the movies, and Andy Serkis now being completely done with Venom 2, that opens him up to have a bigger role in the Batman. I don't know about you guys, but as a Batman fan, I always love seeing me some Alfred. You know he's a smart aleck. You know the banter between an Alfred and a Batman going, "Oh, you out late again, Master Wayne. Should I order takeout, Master Wayne?" That's the kind of stuff I live for in these movies, and the fact that originally it was going to be just really small parts because Andy Serkis had to direct Venom 2. Now the movie being delayed in May, Andy Serkis is all free to do more Batman stuff. That's kind of awesome. The other big positive that this could have on the effect of the Batman is the box office. Now, originally this movie was set to come out June 25th of 2021. Now, obviously there's nothing wrong with a summer release date. In fact, summer release dates do very well. But the biggest problem with summer release dates is that you do go back to back with big budget Hollywood movies, that your movie really only has one weekend to shine before it gets eaten away by the next big movie the next weekend. If Warner Brothers does the same thing they did with Wonder Woman, where they moved it to a release date they had with this horror movie that James Wan was going to do, Malignant, kicked it off the release schedule and put Wonder Woman there. In 2021, Warner Brothers has an opening for a release date on October 1st, 2021. That date, they were going to go ahead and release an Elvis Presley biopic that was going to be starring Tom Hanks. And you know that movie is most likely being delayed also because Tom Hanks got hit with the Rona. Thank goodness the man fully recovered and he'll continue to give us great movies for several more years. But your big star of the movie being out of commission definitely had to affect your production schedule, and now even more with all the movies being shut down. The Batman could take place that day in October, and the last comic book Batman related movie that released in October, Joker of 2019, ended up making $1 billion with a rated R rating. This would be absolutely perfect for the Batman because not only is it following the storyline of the long Halloween, and we've seen set photos where there are pumpkins on set of the Batman, so this film does take place at least a few times on Halloween. Then to actually get the Batman released around the Halloween season, and you have a proven track record that your Batman related movie could make $1 billion in that month, it's basically a no-brainer, other than the fact that we have to wait a couple more months to see the Batman. Not to mention there would also be this trifecta at the end of 2021 where we just have DC movie after DC movie, because in August 6th of 2021 we have James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie. We could get the Batman in October, and then in December of 2021 we have The Rock's Black Adam movie. All at the end of that year, we're just gonna be on a DC high of these amazing movies, and it could really work out in Warner Brothers' favor. As crappy as the world might seem right now, things are starting to progressively get better, and things will eventually subside back to normal, at least I hope so. So while at first glance this all does seem scary and weird, there's some really great things that can come up from this. So I want to know from you guys, what do you think of The Batman and its delayed production and the effects it could have on the movie? What do you think some of the solutions to this is that Hollywood could make, or Warner Brothers themselves with their DC movies? Anything and everything, you guys go ahead and leave your thoughts down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.